Frank here. I'm chairing the Parade Tables event for the second year. Can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? The flag is right here. We bring this event together. This event could not happen without our many sponsors. They are listed on the back of our program and on the website. A few I would like to spotlight are the SCV Pawn Shop for donating a prize that is worth over $15,000 that will be auctioned at a later date. Eve Richard for making the sound happen for today. Auto World Collision, specifically Karen Tarantino for helping tirelessly for this event. Chanuta Tucaselli for our delicious wine from Italy. Mr. McCord for being our event photographer, and the rehab volunteers for always putting in 100% while helping us each year for this event. Each and every one of you here make this event happen. We truly appreciate you being here and supporting the Agua Dulce Women's Club. So now I'm going to welcome Lorraine Congiano, and she's going to say a few words about the building club.
Okay, so last year we introduced our architects, etc., and told you that we were going to be building, and a lot of people gave a big yawn and said, when? Guess what, guys? We have our permits. Countdown starts today. So we have to raise the money. It has been agreed that we will raise the money prior to taking the building down. So we must raise about $758,000. And you're on a timer once you have your permits. You must show significant progress to keep your permit beyond a year. So we have the 1 year timeline that we have to really start putting in place our funding. There are a number of ways you can donate. As you go by the back door, you can see that there's a big map of Agua Dulce. When you donate, we're going to put a pin on your street, and that way we can see which streets are filling up the best. There will be along the road various acknowledgments and gifts and things to go along with our progress. So please, everybody get involved and get your neighborhoods involved. You can donate on the website. You can donate. We are asking if every household in Agua Dulce gave just $600 total, that's $50 a month for 1 year, we would beat our requirement. So that's our goal. However, we will take anything that you can afford to give us. You will be acknowledged no matter what you give us. Your name will be in that building for eternity, or as long as it lasts. And so you can donate on the website for $50 a month. If you choose the subscribe button at the very bottom of the left-hand side of the web, but you must be a PayPal member to utilize that service. You can press the donate button there and just donate any given amount. You can come back and pledge. We have sheets to pledge, and I'll be happy to bill you each month if that's what you want, or you can just give us a big check. I would like to honor just a couple of people right now to let you know we're serious. We already have pledges from Pam Baird for $5,000. Pam already gave us $3,000 of that. We have a pledge from Sue White for, I think it's $1,000. So Sue's going to get to put her pin in. We have a pledge from Lucy Matsumoto, and she's here. She can go put her pin in, and we have a pledge from a few other people that I don't recall right now. So we will be taking donations at the back today, and we will be taking donations all the time, every day. And it is, I'm torn between whether or not to say this. I just want to tell you that I've worked for 9 years on this building. I'm very committed to it. Because I'm so committed to it, I just want to tell you that my family's going to donate $10,000. So I only say that to tell you I am committed to the project. Okay? I'm willing to put my money in it. One more thing. This goes in a separate fund. Anybody who starts to donate to the building goes in a separate fund. That will be completely refundable if the building does not get built. But if we don't build the building, we will have no building. We failed fire department. They're giving us grace towards a new building, but we failed fire department inspection as we knew we would. So this is the time to get going. Thank you so much.
you, Lorraine. Now I'd like to invite the Superintendent of Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District, Larry King. If he can please come forward.
My collar straight. Hi, good afternoon or good morning. I'm not sure which part of noon we're at. The good morning still. So thank you so much for putting on this tremendous event. I'd like to start by recognizing our Board of Education. On behalf of Board President, Mr. Fox, Mr. Porter, Mr. Fallsgraf, we have Mr. DeStasso here today, and Mr. Layton. I would like to extend their thanks for the invitation as well, but I'd like to take a moment to also recognize Mr. DeStasso, who's coming to the close of his selfless service over a 12-year period, and all he's done for the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District in terms of assisting with facilities and budget and finance and much, much more. Mr. DeStasso, if you could please stand up. And I'm going to take my phone out because, like our students do, I got my little notes here so I don't forget anybody. But I'd also like to thank Lee Jennings. I spent a little bit of time with Lee as somebody that I wanted to meet. Coming into the district, and she was just a pleasure to meet and talk with. We spent a good hour together. Her character shined through, her tenacity, her work ethic, her selfless service. So a big hand for Ms. Lee Jennings. I'd also like to recognize and thank Ms. Barnes and our Culinary Art students who you see standing at the edges of us on the perimeter today. What a fabulous job you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have with us at our table, also representing the school district, Mr. Ty DeVoe. If you could stand up, Mr. DeVoe. And he has with him his wife also, Wula. I messed it up. Thank you. Please stand up, Ms. DeVoe. Thank you for being here. Also, my executive assistant works with me very closely in the superintendent's office. After nearly 3 months, I can comfortably say she's my new work wife. And so, Miss Yolanda McCulley, if you could please stand up. She's tremendous and appreciate everything that she does for the school district. I wanted to share just 2 pieces about the school district in the short time that I've been here. One is I've introduced the idea of stay gold. I've talked about it with every staff member in the district office, and I visited all 3 schools. We all have what I call kind of stay gold moments, which are those moments in our lives that were particularly memorable because you overcame something, or they're particularly happy. I won't give you an example because I don't want to exhaust my time limit, but we've done this exercise, as I said, at the 3 school sites and with our cabinet and district office. I've told stories of my own that I consider stay gold moments about the birth of my child, or a long trek at 12 years old that my parents didn't know about, where he rode from the Van Nuys area in the San Fernando Valley to the Westlake Village, and spent the night on the lake with a buddy of mine on the grass with no money on us, and little things like that in life that we look back on. And not that I suggest any students do that, but that are memorable to us and are significant to us. And so that's one of the themes that I've kind of been laying out in our vision and our discussions to work with our staff and students. The second one is a book which I'd highly recommend, called Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. who's a psychologist and an educator, and growth mindset has to do with the idea as opposed to a fixed mindset of pursuing things. And I'll give you a quick example on that. Andre Agassi with tennis compared to basketball star Michael Jordan. Andre Agassi, and I'm not faulting either of the athletes, had a fixed mindset. If he lost the tennis match, it was often because it was too hot or too cold or the wrong coach or the wrong racket, and he'd kind of go through 3 or 4 rackets during the set, if you recall. In comparison, so that would be a fixed mindset, to Michael Jordan, who kind of exemplifies a growth mindset. He's missed many game-winning shots. He was not allowed to play on the varsity team. He didn't make it in high school, but he pursued and practiced and cultivated his skill, and so that would be a growth mindset. So a couple of quick things on our district. Thank you for your time and patience, and what an amazing, amazing event. Your tables look awesome. So thank you for having us.
We're almost going to eat, I promise. But we have a couple more people that just want to say a couple words, and then we'll get to the main dish. So I'd please like to welcome Arianna Agarza, who has received an Agua Dulce Women's Club scholarship in the previous years, and will say a couple words. Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that's here today for supporting the Agua Dulce Women's Club, and thank you all for having me as a guest speaker today. Just a brief explanation of who I am. I was born and raised here in Agua Dulce. I graduated from Paraclete High School in 2008. That same year, I was one of the recipients of the Agua Dulce Women's Club scholarship. I went on to attend Florida Institute of Technology, where I got a degree in aerospace engineering. I was also on the cross-country team in college, and that is actually where I met my now husband, sitting over there somewhere. After graduating from college, I went on to live in San Jose and worked for a small company doing noise analysis for the FAA. I know, very interesting stuff there. And about a year into that job, I moved back down here. Of course, sucks you back in. I'm now working at Northrop Grumman out in Palmdale. So about a year, the job that I got when I first started wasn't my dream job by any stretch of the imagination, but it did get my foot in the door. About a year and a half at that position, my mentors decided I was being underutilized and decided to give me a few options, and that's where I decided to become a flight test engineer. So it was at this point in my career, I realized how important growing up in Agua Dulce meant to me. About 4 months into that job, my manager left. The only other flight test engineer at the time decided to get a promotion and leave the group. So 4 months into the job, I was now the most experienced flight test engineer and the only one. So you could say at that point, I was slightly panicking. I look back at the skills I learned and I developed living in Agua Dulce throughout my childhood and into my adult years. One of that is my ability to develop personal relationships with people. So as you know, in a town like Agua Dulce, you know your neighbors. And you will be willing to help them at the drop of a hat if anything comes up. They may call you for, let's say, a horse escaping. Amanda, looking at you. Yeah. They need help moving something or borrowing something, and you know in the end, they will return that favor. So at this point in my job, I looked at my other engineers that had more experience. I had developed personal relationships with them, and they were willing to help me get me through this hard time. Also at work, we have a lot of new hires and interns that are now joining the team. And me, as the experienced year-and-a-half flight test engineer, has to teach these youngsters who are, 3 years younger than me, what it means to work as a team. I look back at all the community service I did in my childhood,
It would be at the Booster Club, my time as an honorary Cub Scout / Boy Scout, for as long as it took my brother to get his Eagle. And let's all be honest, that monument he made in front of the Women's Club is as much as my accomplishment as it is his. I mean, let's be real here. I also did just about any child-friendly job you could think of the fair. The prizes, the jail itself. I remember painting those prizes, those games as a kid. And maybe some not so kid-friendly ones. I remember when my mom had the bright idea at the age of 12 that her and I would be nighttime security at the Agua Dulce Fair. But granted, her and I together are kind of scary, so it might have been a good idea. So looking back on it, that piece of paper I got back in 2008 that said Agua Dulce Women's Club Scholarship recipient means a lot more to me now than it did back then. Because it's a symbol of this town and the neighbors that made me the person I am today. And I am beyond blessed to have grown in such an amazing town, and no matter where I go or where I end up, Agua Dulce is always my home. Thank you.
Okay, so lastly, Doretha is just going to say a couple words, so I'm just going to bring the mic over to her, so hold on one second. I know we're all the way over the corner over here. But Doretha's just going to say a couple words. She has been part of the Agua Dulce Women's Club since it began, so it's quite an accomplishment for her to be here, and we're really happy to have her here.
Well, it wasn't the Women's Club beginning, it was the Mother's Club. But there were so many single girls and women that didn't have children felt slighted. So I suggested that we call it the Women's Club. And this is what the results of that have been. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Doretha. We really appreciate you being here today. All right, so now we are going to start our lunch. I know you guys have already been served with your salad, but we just want to say thank you to our caterer today, who's Distinctive Catering, and served by our amazing volunteers from Vasquez High School, some of the Girl Scouts, and West Ranch High School. So please enjoy your meal, and we will talk a little bit later. Now we're going to start off the event with an invitation from Lynn Piper. Lynn Piper, please come forward.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. I know you're hungry, so I'll make this short. Thank you all for your generous natures and your warm hearts that bring you here today. Will you please bow your head with me? Bless our fellowship today. May we be ever mindful of opportunities to add something of value to the lives of others. Living in Agua Dulce and surrounding areas, our lives are generally blessed in ways unknown to many. Open our hearts to those in need while still providing us with appropriate fruits of our own labors. Help us to share not only our tangible wealth, but also our intangible riches of knowledge, leadership, and creativity to make our city, our nation, and our world a better place filled with peace and love. For no matter what name it is given, that philosophy called the Golden Rule is indeed the most true guide by which we leave our footprints on this world. Now please bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. Amen.
Thank you, Lynn. I would like to welcome our guests of over 300 people this afternoon to the beautiful Agua Dulce Airport hangar that was generously donated by the Spears for us to host this event. This year is the 24th annual Parade of Tables. I may not have been around for 25 years, but I'm lucky to be chairing this event for the second year. I couldn't do it without my wonderful committee. I would like to welcome my committee to stand beside me when I call your name. Lottie Frank, please come up and stand beside me, Mom. Lee Sola, Pam Bard, Marie Confiano, Karen Starantino, Lee Jennings, Julian Fierro, Mary Johnson, Julie White, Karen Duet, and Kelly Nelson.